The iconic grass courts of Wimbledon, the roaring crowd, the prestigious atmosphere, and the ultimate weight of history hanging heavily in the cold London air. On one side of the net stood Mexico's highly experienced tennis veteran, the current world number 75, Renata Zarazúa. On the other side stood a young, fierce, and determined prodigy ready to rewrite the history books. Everyone heading into this highly anticipated first-round match expected it to be entirely predictable. The tennis pundits, the critics, and the casual fans all believed that veteran experience, tactical positioning, and years of Grand Slam exposure would easily crush the raw enthusiasm of youth. But nobody, absolutely nobody, saw the massive tactical storm coming that would completely shake up the entire tennis world on day one. A 21-year-old rising superstar, viewed by many critics as just a dangerous dark horse in the tournament draw, stepped onto the pristine grass court and unleashed such a devastating, flawless, and aggressive performance that it left Renata Zarazúa completely speechless, frozen, and looking at her coaching box for answers that simply did not exist. Alex Eyala did not just win a high-stakes tennis match today. She stamped her authority, shattered expectations, and wrote an entirely new chapter of history. This monumental upset marks the absolute biggest, most shocking, and most clinical victory of her professional career so far. But how did she completely dismantle Zarazúa's heavily calculated game style? How exactly did she mentally prepare to handle the immense pressure of the big stage? How did she manage to completely neutralize her opponent's slice variations? And what makes this specific performance a literal tactical masterclass for future generations? In the next few minutes of this video, we are breaking down every single jaw-dropping highlight, the hidden coaching adjustments, and the statistical dominance of this historic showdown, so make sure you do not miss a single second of this analysis. To truly understand the sheer weight, the emotion, and the profound significance of this massive victory, we have to look back at the dramatic history and the underlying tension between these two fierce competitors. You see, this was not just another random first-round match on a busy tournament schedule. This was a deeply rooted, personal, and competitive grudge match that had been brewing for months. To trace the origin, we have to travel exactly 2 years back in time, all the way to August 2024 at the ITF W100 Carry quarterfinals held in North Carolina. On that humid day, these two athletes faced off in a brutal, exhausting 3-set battle where Zarazúa's veteran patience, defensive baseline slicing, and psychological warfare eventually wore down the young Eala. That heartbreaking, frustrating loss stayed with the young prodigy for a very long time, acting as a constant source of motivation and fuel for her relentless drive to improve. For 2 long, grueling years, Alex worked tirelessly behind closed doors on every single flaw in her game, constantly analyzing the tape of that defeat. She upgraded her raw serving power, perfected her high-speed baseline court coverage, and built the physical stamina required to outlast the best defensive players in the world. So, when the official Wimbledon draws finally dropped last week, fate handed her the exact opportunity she had been patiently waiting for. It was the ultimate script written by the tennis gods. A high-stakes, maximum-pressure rematch on the most prestigious grass courts in the world. You see, anyone who has been paying close attention knows that Alex Eyala is not your average rising star looking for a lucky break. She is a phenomenal, highly disciplined product of the world-famous Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, where future world champions are forged with elite grit, unshakable mental discipline, and a never-say-die attitude. Coming into the historic gates of Wimbledon this year, she did not just arrive as a hopeful underdog or a nervous qualifier trying to survive the opening weekend. She made massive waves in the tennis community by securing the highly respected number 29 seed in the ladies' singles draw, an absolute historic milestone for Philippine sports and a testament to her rapid rise in the global rankings. However, as any seasoned player will tell you, official rankings, tournament seeds, and media hype mean absolutely nothing the moment your shoes step onto the slippery, fast-paced, and unpredictable grass of Wimbledon. The pressure under the watchful eyes of the London crowd is immense, the bounce of the ball is exceptionally low, and the margin for error is razor-thin, especially when you are facing a tactical, seasoned veteran like Zarazua who thrives on making young players lose their composure. But from the absolute opening serve on Court 12, under the perfect, crisp London skies, Alex made her strategic intentions crystal clear to everyone watching. She did not step onto that court to just compete, trade safe ground strokes, or be happy with a close match. She came out with a burning fire to completely dominate from the very first point. She immediately unleashed her ultimate highly upgraded tactical weapon, a lethal, heavy first serve that has been pushing a phenomenal 75% win rate over the entire course of the past grass court season. Right from the opening service game, she aggressively forced Zarazua deep behind the baseline, completely overwhelming her opponent's defensive playstyle with blistering, deep and incredibly accurate flat ground strokes. Eala played the entire duration of the first set like an absolute hurricane, breaking Zarazua's natural rhythm, tracking down every short ball, capitalizing ruthlessly on every single unforced error, and blasting away consecutive games to take the opening set with a stunning, undeniable 5-1 dominance. Zarazua's facial expression told the entire story to the cameras. She was utterly shocked, visually rattled, and completely paralyzed by the raw power, depth, and sheer velocity coming from the exact same player she had defeated in North Carolina 2 years prior. As the second set began, the major question echoing through the commentary boxes was whether Zarazua could make deep tactical adjustments and stage a classic veteran Grand Slam comeback. After all, tennis history is filled with moments where experienced players drop the first set only to completely turn the match around through sheer grit and courtcraft. But today belonged entirely, unconditionally to Alex Eyala, whose body language on the court radiated pure, unshakable, and absolute confidence. Zarazua, who traditionally struggles to find her footing on fast grass courts and relies heavily on slow clay dynamics, found her return game completely flattened by Eala's relentless baseline aggression and deep corner targeting. Alex did not give her opponent a single millimeter of space or a single breath of air to recover her thoughts. The definitive, loudest turning point of the entire match came during a grueling 20-stroke baseline rally, when Alex brilliantly chased down a desperate, low-skidding slice from Zarazua. Running at full sprint, she whipped an unreal, physics-defying forehand winner right into the absolute microscopic corner of the court. Zarazua literally stood frozen in her tracks, completely motionless, dropping her racket hand in total disbelief, completely speechless at the sheer technical brilliance of the shot. Eala's breakpoint conversion throughout the afternoon was absolutely flawless, keeping the competitive pressure red-hot and proving to the world that despite her young age of 21, she possesses the cold, calculated mental fortitude of a multi-time Grand Slam champion. For the die-hard tennis fans and analysts who have been closely tracking Alex's journey over the course of this incredible summer, this spectacular upset isn't some isolated fluke or a stroke of good luck. Alex entered the gates of Wimbledon riding the absolute peak wave of her professional life, showing immense growth in every single tournament leading up to the main event. She kicked off her grass court campaign in spectacular fashion by capturing her second career WTA 125 title at the Birmingham Classic, showing the sporting world that her tactical transition to low-bouncing grass surfaces was officially complete and highly lethal. But her true, undeniable statement of intent happened at the Berlin Open just a few weeks ago, where she shocked the entire global sporting community by taking down the world number 2 and reigning grass champion, Elena Rybakina, in straight sets with a scoreline of 7-5, 6-4. She then followed up that historic performance with an equally impressive, gritty victory over Grand Slam veteran Elena Svitolina to comfortably reach the semifinals. Common sense dictated that anyone capable of dismantling top-tier players like Rybakina and Svitolina back-to-back in a single week was always going to be an absolute, living nightmare for anyone to face in the Wimbledon opening rounds. Even her highly talked-about early exit at Bad Homburg served as a massive, necessary learning curve rather than a setback, especially after absorbing invaluable, high-pressure career experience playing high-level doubles matches alongside the legendary, multi-time champion Venus Williams. That unique exposure to tennis royalty taught her how to handle center-court nerves, how to communicate during intense moments, and how to maintain focus when the entire world is watching your every move. Thank you so much for your incredible support. Take care of yourselves, stay hyped, and we will see you in the very next video breakdown.